started. And we are now recording, and I'll start the music. Let's see here.
I like music.
Broadcasting live from sunny California, it's 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town with Ms. Meliz, a.k.a. Melissa Reyes. And now, from the left corner, your host, Melissa Reyes.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Sorry, I cut it off at the end. I got so excited. Welcome to Tinsel Town tonight with Ms. Meliz. That's me. I'm Melissa Reyes. And tonight I have with me two of my favorite blabbers in the whole wide world. We've got the Audacity coach, Coach Jennie. Welcome, Jennie. And we have Karen Graves, who's the Genius coach. So we've got Audacious Genius tonight. And me. So I'm the bling. I'm here to sparkle and shine and show you what wonderful, wonderful stars that we have amongst us here at the Lab. So welcome, Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And Jennie, thank you so much for being here. So, oh, good. I'm going to give you each a chance to introduce yourselves. And I just want to welcome everybody here and thank you so much. This is a special time. I'm hoping that this will be a good time. You know, it's sunny. I got the nice sunshine shining in my window. And I'm just, trying to roll with it. I'm infusing all of my talents together. So you'll see I've got my artwork on. This is my sparkle mandala that I made in the beginning of the year, and I had it on Redbubble. I made it into a scarf. And then I also have another mandala on a mug here with my pens in it, but that's my own artwork. So I'm like really kind of having everything in there. And then I'm doing a theme for each week where I'm my artwork is reflecting it, my show is reflecting it, and what I write about on my blog is reflecting it. And so my theme for this week is patience. And how did I decide on the theme? Random. Used my oracle cards. I did oracle cards for every week for the month. Last week was I already forgot what it was. Courage. And that's why I had the courage. I had the cowardly lion come in and talk about newfound courage.
I see.
And this week is patience. And this week is patience.
Got it.
So if you have anything to say about patience, that's fine. But I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just want to let you know where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. And so who wants to go first? Introduce themselves.
You're pointing at empty boxes.
I know.
Yeah, hey, open seat, you go.
Her. Her go first.
I'm going to lock out that.
Okay. That's better. Her.
Oh, now. All right. My name is Karen Graves, and I am a business coach who loves to help those who are starting their coaching businesses build profitable businesses that work and work well for them. I am the fighter of info crack. So anything that gets you stuck down the slippery slope of too much information. I like to make things simple, straightforward. I'm a straight no chaser type of woman who just wants to see you prosper and profit. And so that you can do the work that you really love to do, help a lot of people, and live the life that you know you were meant to live. So thank you.
It's so incredible hearing that done so well, that interview, that introduction, because it's something I'm trying to learn from these lovely ladies. So welcome, Karen. Thank you for telling us what you do. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about who you are next.
Cool.
So Jennie, who are you?
Who the heck am I? I'm Coach Jennie, the Audacity coach, and I'm on a mission to instigate audacity and drown out self-sabotage across the world with as many humans as possible, and then watch the world change. And I do that with Audacity coaching using my signature cathartic shove. Anybody who spent more than 5 minutes with me knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. A couple of
shoves hard.
But it is done with this amazing smile and energy that you both have, and that seeing you working together and individually, you both have such I want to say power. It's in energy way, not in like overwhelming power, but thoroughly alive. And I get that from both of you. And I just have loved watching you and learning from you. And the tears may come later because both of you called me colleague, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome, you know. So you don't know how happy I was when I started seeing you on Blab, because for a while I was like the only one of my kind here, and I think that's why I was attracted to you, because it was like, oh, more people who know what a coach is, and not so much a sales coach, but someone who looks at the whole person. I think both of you really do that well, and not and you're both you understand and relate to people in an esoteric way, yet not overly spiritual, you know? So I'm kind of like that too. Like I know Jennie's like, I'm not spiritual at all, but you but you understand and can relate to people who are in a very welcoming, okay way, which is great. Because I want to be like that too. I really, you know, I work at a Catholic school. I'm so, you know, have a very religious background, but I have not denied that yet. I don't want to make that who I am. I want to be there for everybody, you know, anybody and everybody except all people. So with that said, I'd love to thank you for everybody else. I want to keep remembering who's in the group. I'm starting to see more people pop on. So if you have a question, do please use the /Q so I will see it, because since I don't have a co-host today, I'm not going to be really looking at the side with the chat throughout the conversation. I may take some breaks and look at and see what there is. So put some of your questions in if you do have a question for either of our guests or for me. So first question, what drove you to do what you're doing now? Is there something that that you can tell me about that made you want to be what who you are in your careers? Karen, you're going to be going first for everything, I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Good to know. So my first driving desire to step into the coaching realm is actually more the entrepreneurship space. Okay. Was being in corporate America and feeling like I was tapped out. Like, you know, that I wasn't making any change, that anything that I was doing wasn't really mattering. And I couldn't, I was just like, I did not come to this planet for this. Like, I don't know what I'm here for, but I know it's not this.
What were you doing? What were you doing?
I was in pharmaceuticals. So I was a team leader of a sales training team. And, it was a great job. It was, it's really kind of one of those American dream jobs, but I just felt empty. I just felt like I was going and just being a cog in a wheel that really wasn't for me. And then so that was my first indication of, okay, there's something more, but I noodled on it for a really long time. And then when I became a mom, it was very evident to me, like, this is not the model that I want to leave in this world. And this is not the space for me. And I don't really want to spend more time with people I'm not related to. I don't really think about at night than I do the people who matter the most to me. So that kind of sealed the deal for me.
How many children do you have?
I have two. I have a stepdaughter who's 27, and I have a daughter who's 10. I mean, they're both my daughters, but just there. So
you have a 10-year-old at home.
A 27-year-old. Yeah, 10-year-old at home and a 27-year-old in Florida. She's no longer in China. She's back in Florida.
Oh, good.
More info on that.
Yeah. Okay. Is that good? That's good that she's back.
Centering ourselves.
Helping.
Let's just say it is.
I know my oldest son is going to be going to Nepal at the end of the summer for a couple of weeks, and I'm already starting to feel it. Like, we bought the plane ticket, so for real, and I'm like, this will be the longest 2 weeks of my life. But
how old is he?
21. He'll be 21 now in July, so he'll be 21 by the time he goes. I'm used to him not being home, but that's far.
Fly, little eagle, fly.
Yeah, go. Oh, I don't want to keep them back. So, Jennie, what was the driving force behind you getting into coaching, or as
my field? Yeah, well, I studied coaching in graduate school, But when I was in graduate school, I knew that coaching was something that people did after they had complete careers and retired from them. And then they would then be worthy of becoming a coach. So I thought that that was what my path was going to be too. So I went into organizational development consulting for federal government agencies, which doesn't even sound like a thing. It's just a bunch of words put together, but it's a thing, I swear. Okay. And like Karen, I woke up around my 30th birthday thinking, I don't know what I want, but it is not this. I have just spent, all of my 20s, all of my adult life so far, building a career that totally sucks. And it sounds good at a cocktail party, right? But on Sunday night, I would get that pit in your stomach. I want to die, that there's another week ahead of me going to do this crappy work. Wow. Not good. So my boss noticed that I wasn't doing such a great job as a consultant. I didn't really love it. I was doing an okay job, but I didn't love it. And she could tell I wasn't showing any ambition. And if you know me, that sounds really weird because I'm pretty ambitious. But I wasn't showing any ambition because I just felt like I was dying a slow death. And, I was going to be able to become a coach in 30 years. So she and I had this really deep conversation. She let me off the hook and gave me the saddest little severance. And I came home with, my head low. My wife said, maybe it's time. What if you start your coaching practice now? Now, today, 30-year-old starting coaching practices doesn't sound weird. 10 years ago,
right,
kind of weird.
Yeah.
So it was still kind of novel to do such a thing. And the Audacity Coach was born.
Wow. And so say it again, what it was that you were doing, the government.
I was doing organizational development consulting in federal government organizations. So what that means is I was pretty much working on helping teams in different government agencies do a better job. And I was doing really cool work. Yeah. I was helping, literally helping people who were trying to cure cancer at the National Cancer Institute work better with the administrators. And I got to walk around the Pentagon in fancy heels while I was helping them get their teams together and think together to rebuild their IT infrastructure post 9/11. It was really cool work. And I didn't love it. And so I thought there was something wrong with me. And I realized there were a whole hell of a lot of people that were of the same age, of the same generation, going through that same kind of ick of we followed all the rules, we did what we were supposed to do. And this sucks. This is not what I signed up for, to use what Karen was saying. So that's what I was doing.
Did you both pursue those original careers out of high school, out of college, saying, did you track for that type of work, or you fell into that type of work with the education that you had? Where'd you take that turn to begin with?
So I ended up in pharmaceuticals because I always swore I was never going to be a salesperson. I hated sales. I didn't want to sell. Selling sucks. La, 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 la. And my cousin, I was working for the government. I was a caseworker for state welfare. So that wasn't a happy job. So then one day my cousin's like, I just got home from work. I'm just like, oh my God, another day. And she comes over in her like fancy pants clothes. Like she had on this really sweet suit, nice heels. She drives up in her company car talking about how she just came from or she's getting ready to go to dinner with some doctors. And I'm like, something's not right. like, that's a thing. I was like, you get to do things like that? And she's like, yeah. And I work from home. I'm like, whoa. So yes, I was like, I want me some of that. And, I was at an age where it was like corporate car, company card, I didn't think about the work. Right. The work was harder than I intended, but it was a sweet deal for a single gal at the time. So I rolled with it and I applied and got in and just went through the chain. Didn't intend to stay there as long as I did though.
And how does one get the government job that you had, Jennie?
So it wasn't a straight line either. In undergrad, I studied American Deaf History, which, as you can imagine, after we've talked about Helen Keller and Marlee Matlin, we're pretty bored. Doesn't get you a whole career. But fascinating to me nonetheless. In graduate school, I studied, I got my master's in public administration, which is like an MBA for nonprofits and governmental organizations, if you will. It's the equivalent. And while I was there, I learned about organizational development and the subset of it being coaching. So again, in grad school, I focused on coaching with the dream that in 30 years, I too would become a coach, because that was what the model was at the time. For the most part, there really weren't people that were coaches before they had full careers. So I was going to have my government career with my government salary, and that just didn't really work out. I got tired of government within a year and a half after grad school, and then went into consulting, working external to the government, because they made more money. They made a lot more money, to Karen's point. But they also had to sell their soul a lot more often. And I'm not really good about that.
So how long have you been doing what you're doing now? Karen, how long have you been doing this?
See, my daughter is 10. I'm like in that 9-ish year. And to Jenny's point earlier, when she was like, 30-year-old starting coaching, when I was going through coaching school, like I was going through certification school, I remember them saying, there's going to be a coach everywhere. And it was like, yeah, okay, there's going to be a coach everywhere. Right now, I'm just like, oh, I'm a coach. And they're like, okay, what sport? So I never saw this coming. And now it's like, you can throw a stone and there's a coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while.
Wow. 9 years. And Jenny, it's been 10 years?
Almost 10. So September will be my 10th anniversary, September 1st.
Oh, you guys are
crazy.
Old, but
old school coaches.
It's rare. It's so rare, because most people drop out most will give up within a year. And then the next group of most people give up within 3 to 5. It's really rare to see people with the tenacity to be a coach beyond that.
I have so much respect for both of you. And I think that I feel a lot better knowing you've both been doing this for so long, because the refinement in your style and how you handle just everything to the point where you could be at ease, giving away so much help to people on Blab, which is where I met you. It makes so much sense. It really does. It's not like you're starting out going, okay, I'm going to give this away. Now you can come over to my website. It's really all the whole package. It's the total real deal, people. So those of you who are just meeting these two for the first time, you don't even know what you've got here. It's just amazing. So let's talk about what is the thing? What do you like best about it? What do you get out of it? Dr. Phil would say, what's your payback? How do you, when you walk away after doing this for so long and you're like, yeah, this is awesome. I love my job. What is it about it that sparks your fire?
Dr. Phil is her buddy.
Okay.
Nice, Ellen. What do I get out of coaching overall?
Why then? What's her name? Oh, I don't want to know. Yeah, no. What's the thing that charges you the most? What really gets you like, can't wait to keep doing it?
I love when people see their real selves, like their full potential, like what they really, really have wanted to do that's been hiding inside of them all along, but they've just been scared as shit to do it. I hope you don't mind me cursing. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse on your blabs. But but the stuff that's just that they have the desire, they have the want, they have the will, but they just can't see it for themselves. And to help them see it, crack it open, and to step into it is like my happy space all day.
That's great. And Jenny, do you have something that makes you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could speak to the same thing, but to give a different answer. It's also what lights me up is when I see my content, my ideas make a difference and become part of the vernacular. It is really cool to meet somebody who already has met Hilda. It's really fun to meet somebody who is asking for a cathartic shove and knows what that is, because my community has driven that, and I've been able to have that tiny little slight fame with these ideas, that lights me up, because that means that I'm onto something, it's resonating with people, and it's something I can really put out to the rest of the world and hopefully help a hell of a lot more humans.
Mm-hmm. Shaking it up for real in a good way.
Yeah, I love that. I love it when I've been talking about, I can relate in a little bit because I've been talking about sparkle for a few months now. And now, like my office, I walk in and I'm like, oh, there she is, you're sparkling, and just they're using that word where they laughed at it at first, but now it's, it's more of a verb, it really is what you need, so that's kind of neat. I can relate to that. It's very cool. So I've got a question on the side from David, which is a really great question. I'm going to get to it in a minute, but I want to unpack this a little bit more before we go into other subjects. And that, that is the names. Okay, so you've got the Audacity coach. You've got the genius, what is it? Marketing your genius.
Which we had a long talk about earlier.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead.
You did? See, so, okay, I guess that I must have been absorbing that question in the air because I didn't get quite the answer. So tell me, what is it that about, is it important? I guess my question is, how important is it to have, a catchy phrase that goes with what you are, and how much does it truly describe what you do? Jennie,
I can go first on this one. Yeah. My name is Jennie mustafa-julock, so it's damn important that I have a name that's easier to freaking deal with. That's why I went by Coach Jennie. The Audacity coach is really important because every single thing I do is about instigating audacity. Every piece of content, every blab I do, every time I coach a client, and frankly, just the way I live my life. I want to live a bold, unexpected life based on my rules only, that's filled with ambition, confidence, and tenacity. That all equals audacity, right? And you have to have a little bit of audacity to want that. You have to have audacity to decide to go after things you can't even imagine. You have to have audacity to chase uncharted territory, right? And so that is the core of who I am. It's a word that I was called as a child, not so nicely by my family. And it's a word that I have embraced as just honestly my strength. So it's really important. And as a coach, it's very important to differentiate yourself. It's a crowded marketplace, to David's question, right? It's super crowded. And so I wanted to make sure that my personality is dripping of my name. So I often say, when people say, but are you a life coach or are you a business coach? Or are you more like an executive coach or like a holistic coach? And I just say, all those words are too small for me. I'm the Audacity coach. And the is always capitalized.
It's the title. It's the wow, that's it. That's the title. And Karen, what about you? Like, how important is it for you, and what made you go with that?
Up until like this year, it was important. Like, marketing your genius was your thing, because was my thing, because I was trying to encapsulate, like, everybody has this genius inside of them. And it's really hard to put it out there. It's really hard to own it, and it's really hard to put it out there, and it's really hard to be seen for it. And so I was that, and I find that people try to hide from it. Like they play small, they hide behind, fancy words and things of that nature, but they never really show and own their own genius. And so my thing is, like, get out there, be loud, be proud, and show people who you are, what you want to be known for, and stake your claim in the world. So that was about the marketing your genius. But I feel like, Jennie, it's like, it's not necessarily, it's own your own genius. It's not necessarily encapsulating what I'm doing anymore. So we're in an evolution stage, but I shouldn't say it's not encapsulating what I do, because the owning your genius piece never goes away. But I'm not in love with, like, the Audacity coach. Like, when I hear Jennie say that, I'm always like, yes, the Audacity coach.
I know, it's great to say.
Fun. And I
makes Audacity sexy.
Yeah. But there's no doubt that I've staked my claim as I'm Karen Graves, and I'm going to stir your soul one way or another. So come sit in my seat and you'll find out. You know?
And again, her last name isn't Mustafa-Julock.
Yeah.
Spell Karen Graves. And so you don't need the title. I love it. I think it's really exciting, and I'm excited to watch as you're evolving, because I can see you evolving very quickly in just the not even 6 months we've known each other.
Yeah, it's coming to fruition. Like, scary.
There's always room to bloom a little bit more and get a little bit bigger and bolder in what you do, and it's an exciting time to see that change. It really is. So let's take a moment and I want to welcome everybody here and say thank you again to Jennie and Karen for being here with me on Tinsel Town tonight. If you're watching on MsMeliz.com, thank you so much for being here. Feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to click on and join us, come to Blab, you can leave comments and join in on the conversation. And if we have time at the end, you may be able to pop on with us and get some catharsis, I guess, or some genius infused. And, so let us know if you have any questions. And follow me at 10 minutes for info about this show, or for just info about everything I do. You can follow me everywhere at Ms. Meliz. And let's go for a question. Question from the audience. So David says, so what are your thoughts on the abundance of coaches available today that have no basis of experience other than they see others doing it? I think I have a good idea of what these two would think of that, because that sounds like a client to me. So anyway, go ahead. What do you think? What do you think of people who start off and they really don't, they just think it looks cool to do?
Everybody has to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I always believe that if you're bold enough to go into coaching, that there's probably some underlying belief that you have a skill set that other people will benefit from. So I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I get a little bit put off by people who don't respect what coaching really is, and they try to shortcut and make themselves look good, kind of like the Kardashian style of coaching. It's like, look at me, I'm a coach. Ooh, isn't this cute? Right. But they don't really have any depth or substance, and they're not in it for the betterment of other people. They're really in it for validation of who they are, to make themselves feel self-important. So that's where I get, like, if you're coaching, it comes from a very deep place. It's not it's not a fly-by-night industry. There are a lot of people who think that. They think that they can get rich in a weekend. But the truth of the matter is, if you're really a coach, you care so much about people to the point where there's times you do it for free. You totally do it for free. And you don't care, because in the long run, it's going to make a difference in somebody's life. So you can deal with that. Right. So if you're here for a fly-by-night experience, beat it. Did that cover that, David?
I totally get it. My challenge with the abundance of coaches available today is twofold. One, there are a lot of people getting into coaching because it looks like the easiest way to make a lot of quick money. Right, which is painful. So that's really tough. And the other thing is the abundance of coaches, that phrase that David's using, which is a common phrase. I'm not picking on David this time. But the abundance of coaches is making the word coach really scary. I don't know how many times I've been on a conversation and people are like, I don't want to offend you, Coach Jennie, but I don't want to be called a coach, because the abundance of coaches have made the word coach feel like a 4-letter word. Right. So that's really challenging.
Politician.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Coaching is a craft. It's a craft I take incredibly seriously. It's my craft. I'm working on the craft of speaking and writing right now, but those are always going to be secondary to coaching. And that's what I'm really good at. And anyone who approaches their vocation, whatever it be, as a craft, as something that they are completely invested in, has my respect. Even if it's day one and they're just crossing the starting line. So they have to have that commitment to follow through. And, I work with people who are like that. I work with people who say, I'm going to become a coach, but maybe I'm not going to go through a traditional coaching training program. So neither did I, right? I didn't go through one coaching training. There's nothing wrong with doing it, and there's nothing wrong with not, depending on what your style is to perfect and master your craft. I think that's really important. And one of the greatest ways, as you know, Melissa, to master your craft is to do it here on the air, on Blab, in front of the world to see, demonstrate what it is you do in front of a live audience and see how that goes. Then you know if somebody's got something. I hope that answers David's question.
Yeah. If you feel like you have more questions about that, David, pop it in the side. I'm going to consider this one answered. And we have another great question that's along the same lines. This is from Coach Aaron, who asks, what are your thoughts on those who call themselves coaches and yet they are really doing more training or consultant? So
Can I start?
There it is. Yeah.
Can I take this one?
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. We could split all the hairs and figure out what they want to call themselves. I don't care. What they need to care about is, does their customer understand what problems they solve and whether or not that's the right person to help them solve that problem?
Good
If they want to call themselves a consultant, a guru, a ninja, a nincompoop, I don't care. If it's going to resonate with their particular clients and are they able to make sure it connects? That is another place where we get kind of territorial as a coaching community, that it's our word. We have to protect our word and make it, let it go. The other thing is the idea that coaching is only one thing, far too small for me, people, right? Do I give my opinion? Hell yeah. You ask my opinion, I share my opinion. Does that mean I've taken off my coaching hat for a minute? I ain't got time for that. So I think that's really important. I think it's important to just be who you are completely. And I came from consulting. So consulting is going to be part of the experience, but I'm still the Audacity coach. So that's my small opinion.
It's just teeny tiny, just a teeny tiny. I think my take is similar in the effects of like, I really don't care what you call yourself. And I totally agree with what Jennie said about make sure your customer is really clear on what you're doing. But what I see far too often is that people will call themselves coaches, but they really want to do a consulting business. And then they find out they're disappointed by what they set up, or they want to be trainers, but they try to force themselves into a coaching business model or consulting business model, and it's not serving them properly. So my thing is for people to get really clear as to what kind of business that you're building. I find a lot of people too, I want to be a coach, but they really want to be a speaker. You know, and the speaking business is different than a coaching business. So in that, I think people really need to figure out, how do you want to serve your people, right? Do you want to be the person who's behind the scenes, you know, telling people what to do? Because that's more of the consultant edge, all right? Or do you want to be more of in the coach? Like, just figure out how do you want to run your business, and that will tell you what you really are, and then you can inform your clientele.
And Karen, you are amazing at pulling that out of people, who they really are and what they really want to do. And just, you know, you're really good at that. And so, yeah, I don't think that calling yourself one thing or another would really matter if I were, you know, asking you for advice or, you know, direction, and you were like, you would be able to pinpoint what I had in my heart. And I think you're really great at that. So it's interesting hearing you say that. You're welcome. So it's funny that David read my mind, because he asked Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms. So, you know, I think what I hope that's not some like weird sexual reference. I have no idea what that means, because we are not going there.
I know, my head if it is. I know. It's like, no.
He just wants to know. Yeah, he said
this is usually a later night show, but anyhow, that's not where we're going. But the thing is to lighten it up a little bit. I'd like to know what kind of board games you like, because I heard that Karen likes to play board games as one of her pastimes. So what's the most recent board game that you've played at home or on a game night?
The most recent one I think was Life.
Oh, okay.
Because I have a 10-year-old, so we play the game of Life.
The game of how did that go?
It was good.
I've never liked that game.
Really? I love the game of Life. It's like, yeah, I won. I'm just better at it. No, it's fun to be able to play the game that I played as a kid with her, and to share with her even my perspective on when I was 10 and I was playing the game of life, I really didn't see any of that stuff as real. And it's like, now I'm like, oh no, this is real stuff. Like, you really have to think about how many babies you're gonna have, because at the end, like tax money and all that stuff. Yes, and to finally win, David, it feels good that on a board game I can have a semblance of reality. Of the reality I'd like to create.
That's awesome.
That is. That really is. How about you, Jennie? Have you played a board game lately?
Not as often. We don't have kids, but we like to play Speed Scrabble. Have you ever played that?
No, I've loved Scrabble though.
Okay, so Speed Scrabble, you don't use the board, and each person starts with, I think it's 11 tiles. Is it 11 tiles? She's saying it's 11 tiles. So you start with 11 tiles, and each of us make our own little Scrabble board. And as soon as you've been able to use all 11 tiles, whoever goes first says go. And then everybody who's playing grabs one more tile. And then you have to work that in. And you keep saying go until you run out of tiles. And the first person to have a complete board wins. The problem is, as you grab new tiles, you have to redo the whole darn thing.
Oh, wow.
Because you'll be like, I was good with the word solitaire, but now I have to work in dominoes or whatever from the chat. So yeah, I'm a big fan of playing that.
That sounds really cool. Like, I hear the dominoes as a game too. Like, do you play variations of dominoes, Karen, or do you like Mexican Train is what my family plays. I don't really know how to play it, but my mom taught all the grandchildren, so it skipped me. Mexican Trains, kind of dominoes, but what is your?
There's one that I really like. It's Russian, which is like the fives and the multiples of fives. That one's really fun for me. But my husband plays the dominoes where, like, we play all 9 tiles, and I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, I don't know what she's like. I like to play the Jamaican way, flipping over tables. Yeah, sometimes we get to that phase. Copy cool, like all that. But I don't know the name of it. I just play it, and I can definitely stand to do it better. Apparently,
I like house rules.
Yeah, house rules.
So, besides a pastime like that, what's your favorite kind of thing to do to just hang out and just relax? I mean,
What's this thing you're talking about?
Oh yeah, vacation. Okay, where would you like to go on vacation, or what do you like to do? Are you outdoorsy?
I'm pretty on the beaten path kind of gal. I do like to go on cruises. I do like to be near the water. I like to put my feet in the sand. I love the beach. So that's important to me. I enjoy things like that. I really love my work, and so having a life is kind of difficult for me. But the other thing I love is brunching. I know that's not exactly an activity, but we make it a sport.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
a sport.
It's a sport in the gay community to brunch, so we do it well.
Wow. That's a sport in my community too. And wow, that time in okay. Anyway, so yeah.
I don't know where she was going with that.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to hear more about that.
Brunching. I was really into brunching back then. So, that's good. That's good. Where do you like to go to brunch? You live in LA now, right?
Well, I've just moved to LA since last summer, and I'm still learning my way around. But so far, my favorite place is Blue Jam on Melrose. There's no E in Blue, and it used to be a old jazz jam place. It's awesome. And they make crunchy French toast that has some kind of syrup, cornflakes. She's saying cornflakes that are like on the French toast, which is really supposed to be special. I don't really like that. I go for their egg dishes though. But we have gone enough that they know us now. We brunch well.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a well-known.
There's one in Santa Monica called, I think it's the Rose. Have you been there? The Rose?
I haven't.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good. So, how about you, Karen? What are your favorite things to do? I guess maybe we call it a guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasures are cigar bars, especially smoking hookah.
Really? Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Hookah. Every time I see your pictures, I'm surprised.
Oh,
yeah,
what?
I know it throws people off, but I've been going to cigar bars for years. And so I like to hang out in cigar bars. I don't know why I don't really like the cigars, but I find that I do like hookah. That's a new thing. But I just like, there's something to me about a cigar bar. It's such a diverse environment and it doesn't matter, male, female, black, white, Chicano, it doesn't matter. It's just like this melting pot of people who like to like hang out.
Where are you? Are you DC? No,
I'm in the Richmond area.
Richmond, Virginia,
yeah.
So it's like,
and so we have like one cigar bar.
Okay.
No, there's actually a couple. My husband works at a cigar shop too.
The cigar shops and even the bar that I'm thinking of that I can picture, and I just, there's usually like one or two old guys, you know, sitting in the corner smoking. I just like don't get the whole bar part, but there's got to be something out there that I'm missing, because both my niece and nephew, well, when my niece got married, they had this whole cigar like theme thing for them and all their friends. And so these are 20 somethings and they're really into this whole, you know, culture I miss completely. So to walk me through it, what do you do when you go to your cool place to hang out and there's a cigar and hookah smoking going on? What?
Okay. So my husband and I show up and he typically knows a lot of people. Because he works in a cigar shop, so a lot of the regulars like know him. But the one place we go to, they have lots of times they have live music, live jazz, something.
Is there alcohol
so we get, like,
too? Is it like a bar? Is it like dark?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because otherwise, no. Yes, but there is alcohol too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So no, I mean they have food too. I can't get down. I used to in New York. There was a place called Club Macanudo. And I used to go there all the time and we'd have like meals. And that was actually a favorite, you know, drug rep haunt. There's a lot of doctors there. But, you know, we would have food, we'd have dessert, we'd have drinks, we'd have cigars and like spend the whole night there. And so I made the mistake of introducing my husband to it. He was not a cigar smoker. I converted him by him coming one night and saying, oh, like this is what cigar life was like. Okay. And then he was like full throttle. So, you know, we built like, we get a little cozy corner in the, you know, like somewhere in the corner and it's comfy seats. They bring over, you know, he usually gets whatever cigar he's getting that night or he brings his own. And I order the hookah. The hookah is just for me.
Yeah. So,
it's got different flavors. And so I found that, like blue mist and pineapple was my last one. It was really tasty.
And
we usually get margaritas.
And they have, okay. So I probably smoke anything if it came with a margarita. So,
well, I just drink margaritas with it and it's really yummy. Like have fun.
Okay. I haven't not done the hookah. I think my kids have, my older kids, but, because they've talked about it, but they think they don't like to tell me anything because they don't want me to try it because then it's not cool for them.
Sure.
So
you ruin it.
Yeah, I ruined Snapchat. Crazy. Anyhow, so I can't do it. I don't know. It's
you could do it. It's
weird.
Yeah. I don't even know.
I smoked. I smoked for like 20 years or more. And clove cigarettes and, you know, menthols. And so the flavor, I think it would make me want to smoke.
But I used to be a smoker and it does not give me the wanting to smoke.
All right.
Yeah. About a dozen years ago, I used to smoke.
Okay.
And, but I was always the person who had like one cigarette for the day. And it was like, why am I smoking cigarettes? Like, this is just so dumb. But yeah, it's nothing like cigarettes to me. I don't know. It's just
a midnight toker, David.
I know. I just keep uncovering layers. Jenny's just like,
who are these people?
So I don't know.
You know, I think that's interesting. Like, what is it that you do when you're not doing what we see you doing? You know, you're just kind of who you really are. Like what kind of car do you drive? Do you guys know what kind of car I drive?
No, but we both drive Mini Coopers.
You do. I know you have a new shiny blue Mini Cooper.
I do.
Tell us all about it. Electric blue.
Yeah, we moved when we moved here. We had lived in New York for 6 years, so we hadn't owned a car. So it's exciting. So yeah, we got
So
ourselves
you went in a mini.
Yeah, we got the gayest color.
Yep, I have a surf blue one. I have a little bit of the bigger one. So yeah, the Countryman.
Beamer, he says. Are they Beamer engine?
Yeah,
so they're owned by BMW. Yep. Fun.
I'm a Jeep girl. I have a Jeep.
Oh,
I have
that's my
two
next
Jeeps.
car.
I've had total 4 over my lifetime. But I have two right now. My boys drive them all the time. But yeah, I like the little ones with take the doors off and the top down and just 4-wheel driving, and I love my Jeep. It's so much fun.
Nice.
That's what I like. So, driving is very, we just finished teaching our youngest son to drive, and he's got his license and he's doing it now and he's off. And so I'm like, so with that stress of teaching a young person to take over behind the wheel, I'm back to enjoying it. 'Cause I love to drive. I think it's awesome. But, looking at your car like a, death mobile for your child, it's kind of like, you got to get past that. So I have a lot of hang-ups, I guess. I don't know, whatever, but I'm growing through it. And driving is one of my favorite things to do. I want to get another one so that then I have just something that's dedicated to me, because I have to share my vehicles. Right now we have 3 vehicles and 5 drivers. So it's not good. So,
Nice.
So what's the longest car trip you've ever taken?
When I was growing up, my folks split, and my dad stayed living in Lorain, Ohio, which is close to Cleveland on Lake Erie. And my mom moved us down to Gainesville, Florida. And every summer, we would drive to and from and back again to go see my dad. And yeah, it is not cute. Do you know how long you're in the state of Georgia? I'm just saying, forever and ever and ever.
Never been to Georgia. Wait, have I? No.
If you
I've been to South Carolina
street anywhere, then you were in Georgia. No, it's not as long as driving through Texas, especially if you go east to west, which I've not done.
Yeah, everybody's like Texas.
Right, Texas wins. Totally get it. But I think that's the furthest I've ever driven in one trip.
How about you, Karen? Have you long car drives?
Yeah, from New York to Georgia. That was a long and painful trip. And because we had my 2-year-old daughter at that time in the car. And then also New York to North Carolina with a 2-year-old. My nephew was 2. So it's just longer because there were kids involved.
Driving with the toddler.
You have to stop, and they're, they were handfuls. So, yeah.
We took a lot of road trips. I drove. I've got that echo. Stop it. Go away, echo. Okay. It went away. Magic. No, it didn't. Anyway, if you can't hear it, I'm okay. So we took a road trip where we took the kids to go look at colleges, and my son really wanted to go to school in Colorado. So we drove over the Rocky Mountains. It was crazy. And I wrote all about it. So you can read all about it. And I correlated the whole theme of what it was like to drive with the family in the car and looking at colleges and what state of mind we were in as we went through 7 states or 4 states in 7 days or something crazy like that. And so road trips were my way of really talking about life, and the whole bumpy roads and the unexpected things and the joy of it and the hardships and stuff. And so, what would be the piece of, I don't know, wisdom or using that metaphor of driving and of life? What would you give? What's your next meme?
Driving metaphor.
Yeah, road trip metaphor.
My head immediately goes to how the law of attraction people like to use driving metaphors. So I'm a little stumped.
You're like the opposite of that. Okay, so just think on that.
Well, yeah. I mean, here the metaphor, it's sort of related, but I always talk about Alice in Wonderland and choosing which road. The Cheshire Cat, she goes to him and says, "Which way do I need to go? Where are you going? I don't know." Then it doesn't matter. So the metaphor I would use is to know where the frick you're going. Otherwise, what's the point? I see a lot of people entering the field of coaching, entering entrepreneurship in general, and they want to make money. They want to not work for the man anymore. And that's not enough clarity, right? Don't tell me what you don't want to do. That I can't actually help you do that, so that would be the metaphor that bubbles to mind. It's not exactly what you asked for, but it's as close as I got.
No, I think that's good. I would go with the roadmap, kind of plan it out a little, know what you want, know your destination. That works for me. How about you, Karen? Do you have any kind of road trip metaphor for life?
Yeah, I would stay with what Jennie said. You have to know the destination, but know that some parts of that road trip are going to be so much fun. Like, like when you have the music blasting and everybody's like, "Whoa, yeah, this is great." And then some of it's downright going to suck. Especially like when you're getting tired, the car breaks down, you get hungry, you got to stop for snacks and nothing's open. You got to go to the bathroom, so there's going to be times that it's bumpy. The ride is bumpy, but if you are really serious about getting where you're going, you will go through the ride no matter what it is.
Ooh, perseverance. So true.
I like how Shoshana put to get out of neutral and put your foot on the gas. That's the other thing.
Yes.
Let's get this moving already.
Go for it. And don't make me pull this car over, as David says. Getting to the next day. Okay, well, that's pretty awesome. So again, it's time to say thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for being here and listening to our gabbing and making metaphors together. So much fun. And for following me at msmeliz.com and for watching Tinsel Town tonight. And if you have any questions or want to join in, I'll open up the seat. We've got about 10 minutes left of this fabulous show. And I'm going to, just say hello. Open this up. Okay. So if anybody wants to hop on and say hello, or if you have a question for either of, or any of us, or for Coach Jennie or Karen, just jump in and let me know. And everybody here has a face, so you're all welcome to join in. It's so exciting. And some people are leaving. Okay, take that as a way to say goodbye. It's over. You can go now, but not really, because this is when the real
earlier today that she was going to be in and out because she was also cooking dinner. So thanks for coming, Cherie.
Yeah, thanks for stopping
by.
Thank
you, Cherie. Thank you so much. So, David, do you want to say hello and get in? So we could see what makeup you're wearing. Are you wearing?
Look at Jennie. Jennie's like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to beg. So it's okay. Maybe
I'm not going to beg.
It's okay. You're all welcome to pop in and say hello, and I'd love to see you. But in the meantime, since you're not all jumping in, could you tweet it out for me, and we'll get that motion going and add each other to everybody's lists and really connect, because that is what I like to do. I like to go after the show and go through Twitter and kind of talk to everybody and see what you're all about. And Twitter is a great way because we're connected with Blab. So I'm going to ask a meaty question, and because you guys are so deep and so open, and I love it.
We're deep.
You're deep.
We're deep.
You're deep. This is, and if you've watched any of my shows, I like to ask this one. So what would you say is your own personal core value, your core desired value, or what you build your future on?
Core value.
Like kind of what drives me the most, or the one thing that I hold on to the most?
Whatever that means to you. You can define it either way.
Whenever I think of core value, I always think of family. Like everything I do is demonstrative of my love and loyalty to my family. So, to me, that it's whether it's my immediate family or the family that's yet to come, or the family that's laid the tracks. Family is everything. And so I want to make them proud. I want to make a difference so that carries on forever.
That makes me think of something. So I did a Snapchat this week, and I was asking, what's your why? It's not an original question, but I was defining what my why was and why I was on Snapchat. So then I was like, why are you here is the question. Mm-hmm. So let me see, why are you here? And so, that I think you just put it together as that, your family. And a lot of people answered me in Snapchat that their why is their family. And I felt incredibly guilty because I kind of got away from that. My why has been my family for a long time. And now I'm kind of trying to go my own way and do my own thing. But that doesn't mean that family isn't first. That's when we talk about core, that's the thing that everything else is for. So you get straight to the root. So what about you, Jennie? What's your
I would say potential is my core value. I think that most of us are just scraping the absolute top of our potential. Like, we're not really digging into much, and we only get one spin on this big blue marble. And I am going to dig into my potential as deep as I can get and use as much as I freaking can, no matter how much it scares me. And I love to help other people who share that same value, that they just feel like, you know what, I could do more, I could give more, I could show more, I could offer more and contribute more to the world. And so I think that drives everything that I do. But to the family point, it also drives that. I should have said yes and. Karen is saying but. You know, my family is my top priority. My family of two, me and my wife, is my absolute top priority. And as you guys know, I drop everything for her. So that's how we roll.
Mm-hmm. I know that to be true. And I don't know if you read the post that I did on my blog to lead up to this, but I love how much you honor your relationship and your love for your wife, because, and we all, love our other, partner, and not to say that I don't, or that Karen does, or whatever, but just that it's very romantic. I love it.
Well, thank you. It's different for us child-free people. We have a different relationship, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I probably mention my kids a lot, and because that's
I'm not putting
foremost in my head. Yeah,
it's different. We have a different family.
Well, if you get me talking about my husband, we'll just be here all night, and I'll just be all, and he does this, he does that, because he's really wonderful. And so I don't know, maybe I don't share that enough publicly, but I'm always afraid that he's going to be listening and be weird about it. But anyway, I'm just talking out the side of my mouth now because I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, it was nice. It was very, very nice. And not enough people, I think, give that type of honor in the way that you do. I think it's very special. And I thank you for that. So that's beautiful. So what are some... what's a little bit of advice that you would give anybody who's listening, either on the podcast, or does anybody do that? Share the last 30 seconds. Do you have like kind of a thing that you can say that we can share?
Can you say a thing?
Say a thing. I'm going to give you here. Be awesome.
Be awesome.
That's
awesome.
Hey, how's it going, Donald? I can't hear me.
Hey, hi. He's like, tell him how wonderful I am. Go ahead.
Kind of like his stance, like, I'm here, so you should. Hey, Karen's husband.
Oh,
thank you.
Like,
yes, he is.
Are you almost done? Is that are you almost done, Dave?
No, he just came from the masseuse and his shoulders like jacked up. So.
Oh, do you see how it keeps going up?
Yeah, and he's a weightlifter, so bodybuilder. Sorry, I got corrected. He's a bodybuilder, and
I'm sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's frozen day. I think it maybe he's rotator cuff related. Ouch. Ouch.
What a neat couple you are.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm all observing you. It's just neat. This whole dynamic. Bodybuilder thing. That's pretty cool. Okay, so what do you do to be awesome, people?
What do we do to be awesome? Is that the question now?
The questions change, but it's the same. It's let's have some parting words that are positive, that are awesome, that will make other people say, I'm gonna go do that. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That third thing. I rephrased.
I don't know. I'm keeping up with you. I'm just trying to think of the thing.
Okay, think of the thing.
Wrote out some wisdom.
Awesome
wisdom on the top of your head.
A Coach Jennieism, a Karen Graves-ism.
Mine is do good work. Really, it comes down to do good work, and that means help people, solve problems, do what you know that you're meant to do, and stick to it. Like, don't give up when it gets hard, because that means that you're giving up on what you can do for other people. So do that good work.
Don't give up when it's getting hard, because that means you're giving up on, say it again?
On helping other people.
On helping other people. So do good work. I like that. That's good. Do good work. How about you, Jennie?
I of course would want to talk about Hilda and not to let her run your life and to quiet her as quickly as you possibly can. If you don't know who Hilda is, it's the name I give to the irksome inner naysayer that lives in the back of your brain. And I would say if you're listening to Hilda, or if Hilda is driving the bus, pull over, knock her out, send her to the back,
drug her,
tie her up, drug her. I mean, she's coming along for the ride, and that's how it is. But she certainly doesn't have to be in charge.
That's really good. Don't listen to Hilda. Knock her out, because who is in charge?
You, as it should be.
Yes. I say listen to the inner sweetheart and sparkle. Anyway, no. But yeah, no, really, do your best. Be who you are and love it and shine, because we only have this one time, one chance. So anyway, well, we're right on time for ending. And I just say thank you so much. I just can't thank you both enough for being here with me on Tinsel Town tonight and sharing your wisdom and your delightful ways about you. And I look forward to a time when I can go out for a little ride in your Mini and have a little hookah and, some brunch. It'll be just awesome. So thank you, ladies. Do you have any questions for me before I play the end music? You both know me pretty well, so it's okay. I didn't think of asking earlier, but if you have a question for me, you know how to find me at mizmaliz.com, at mizmaliz on Twitter.
Well, I like to throw things back to interviewers. So who do you?
I knew I was trying to get away without having the answer. Okay, good.
So who do you help and what do you do? Like, how do you help people?
Okay, well, okay, so
she's like, I'm gonna kick you behind when we get off camera.
I've been playing around with that a lot, as you know. Well, and I really just want to help anybody. I want to help anybody because I am the person who you go to talk to when you have nobody else. And there are a lot of people who are holding things deep inside that just need somebody who is impartial, who can listen. And I help people to help develop that inner sweetheart and that driving force and those core values and make them into a positive experience. So I did that for myself, where I came from a negative, dark, depressed state of grieving and sadness and not thinking my life was worth much, and to making it into this wonderful, colorful, exciting thing when I tapped into my background. And so I want to help other people do that. But in the process, they come to me on their own. It's not like I'm trying to make a business of it. I've embraced that. Who I am is just about putting it out there and seeing where it goes. So I like to shine and show how other people shine. And that's what I'm doing here with Tinsel Town tonight. So it's been 70 episodes so far. So I think
really,
wow, yeah, that's hot.
Yeah, and so it's really brilliant when I look back at all the people I met and all the things we've talked about and the community that's built from it, and it's great. So and I have a book and another book coming out and stuff like that.
I know you're in the process of narrowing that down and getting it clearer and clearer and clearer, so that people who are ready for you or in the right particular spot and know the problem that you solve are able to reach out to you and work with you. Where do they go if they want you as their coach?
mizmaliz.com. I have a tab there for coaching where you can contact me, and I have my hours and you can schedule time with me. So that's where you start. It's all there. I'm very available. So yeah, and I have quite a few people who would be probably willing to tell you that that I'm very approachable and reliable, because they still call me all the time, and I'm open that way. And the reason I can be open that way is because I have a full-time job. And I want to space things out to where I'm doing this full time after that's over. And I don't know when that's going to be.
Wait, so which full time? I was with you to the last sentence.
when I'm not working this job full time, my regular day job, which could be in the next, 4 or 5 years, maybe less, this is what I'll do as a career, where I'll be more like into it.
The coaching.
Coaching, writing, speaking. So, sorry if I'm looking away, but I'm looking at you over there, but really I should be looking at you right there. So yeah, I know it's weird because what happens is I'm so into it that I get pulled into and I think, okay, I really can't do that because I don't really have the time, but it all works out. I make time. I make it work. So don't ask me questions.
Well, it's your show, so we're going to behave ourselves.
Right. But she said, do you have any questions? We ask questions and don't ask me
questions like that. Like,
I have to just say, those were the lightest questions you've ever gotten from either of us, and you know
it. Right.
I know. These two are really good, and I wouldn't have invited them here if I wasn't prepared for some, a little bit of that.
If it wasn't this late, sister, we'd be on.
I know. And the thing about it is they're so motivating that when I leave having a conversation like that, I go and I'm acting on it. I'm like, changing my website and doing these things. And I'm thinking, okay, it's kind of like, don't raise your hand to volunteer. When you go someplace, I'm like, sit on your hands. Don't sign up for anything. Don't do anything, because I'm still fueled by everything we've talked about to this point and working on it. So that is a good thing, everybody. You should dial in. Where can we reach each of you? Besides MsMeliz.com, where the links to everything is, but go ahead. If you even want to put in the side your links and your shows. We didn't even talk about your shows. You just tune in to Blab. You'll find them at some time during the day. Both Karen and Jennie have their shows together and separately.
Yes, we do. So
about nothing and everything.
Yeah. Exactly. So if you want to reach out to me, the best first step is to get yourself a cathartic shove sesh. It's not free. It's $100. It's 30 minutes, me and you one-on-one. It's not free on purpose because, I want to limit it to people who are really serious and ready to roll. And that one-on-one session is a great way for you to kind of kick the tires. But more importantly, you're going to walk out the door with a real shove, an action plan. You're going to know what you're going to be doing. Yes, I blab a lot. I have a show called the Audacity Lab. It's not at any particular time because I schedule the Audacity Labs around my coaching sessions so that I can be available to my clients first and to the community second. I want to be available to them, but if I picked an exact time, that would just not work for the style of coaching I do. And unlike Karen, I coach people in way too many freaking time zones. I'm just going to say it. Way too many time zones. Melissa is here right now. One of my clients, Melissa Singer, is here. And she's listening from Tel Aviv. And if my math is right, it's like 3 a.m. there or something ridiculous. I'm just saying. Wow. And then, of course, yes, we have our Blab About Nothing, which happens Thursdays at 11 my time, Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern time, Karen's time.
Yes.
And Karen, put your link in as well for your Blab, right?
So I do a Blab, Think and Grow Rich for Coaches. It's Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's absolutely everything that you need to know to either start up a coaching business, or if you decide coaching is something that you want to add on, then come there, learn all of the key components in simple, action-oriented ways so that you don't have to think about it. You can be about it.
Be about it. Don't think about it. I love it. Thank you both so much. I feel like we should get going because we have lives, but I definitely, you're welcome to stay as long as you like after we stop the recording. But right now I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you so much for being here in Tinsel Town. Don't go away yet. You got to dance it out. Okay, girlfriends, dance it out.
Oh, she got funky beats.
Yeah, little funky beats.
I'm very shy. I don't dance.
I don't dance enough. I wish I could dance more often.
Thank you so much for being here on Tinsel Town tonight. This is Melissa Reyes, and I'm be back next Tuesday. Be patient because patience starts with you. This goes on for a while, so I'm going to go for this one. Oh, we missed the bomb. Right after that, it goes boom. Okay, I'm turning off the recording. How do you do this? Click on the word recording. Oh, pause recording. There it is.